Welcome back. This is Tammy, and I'm here to talk about the card that we're going to complete for this month. I picked a birthday card. You can make it say whatever you want, but mostly we're going to use the Artistic Etching stamp set and the first edition stamp set. You can see on the bottom here that there is a front, a inside left, inside right, and a back. This one right here is extra. I added it for this video so I can teach you all the steps. So we're going to start on the front. This is what the end looks like. I'm going to switch over to this other teaching mode. And I already started by pre-filling it with the crumb cake textured cardstock and a photo box. And what we're going to do now is fill the photo box with first edition. I just used the first paper that came up. We're going to drag it in and maybe kind of blow it up just a little bit and say okay. Now what I would like to do is not make this be quite so bold because we're going to put stamps on top of it. And so I want to turn the opacity down to 60%. Sorry, I had to look at my notes. And as you can see through it when you do that. And the other thing I want to do is add a drop shadow. So I'm going to show you what happens when you add a drop shadow when you turn down the opacity. Not only can you see through to the paper underneath, but you can also see the drop shadow. So I kind of don't like that. So here's a little trick for making sure that you can turn down the opacity, but you don't necessarily have to see what's underneath. So what we're going to do is copy and paste, but when we copy or when we paste it, we're going to say paste in place. That's going to put an exact copy right on top. And then if you remember for a photo box, if we want to fill it with different paper, we just hit the delete key. So on my keyboard, I'm hitting delete. And now what I'm going to do is hit browse in my background papers, go up to cardstock, open that up, go all the way down and just put in plain, very vanilla. And I'm just going to hit OK because you're not even going to see this. I'm going to add the drop shadow to this layer, and then I am going to move this backward so it's behind the layer that I just had. Now I'm going to click on the top layer and I am going to remove that drop shadow. You don't have to do that. This was more for illustration. Now you can see that you can't see through that layer, but it's light. So we can stamp on it and it'll look pretty. And we've still got the drop shadow, but you're not seeing this colored paper underneath. So that's a really good little technique to know. I use that a lot. Okay, so now we're going to go back over to our stamps and we're going to Artistic Etchings, and I'm going to add 3 of these pretty little circles. First thing I'm going to do is kind of lower it down a little bit, and then I'm just going to hit Control Copy, Control Paste, actually that's Control C, Control V, and I'm going to do that twice so that we have 3 of these. And I'm going to put them up and down, and honestly right now I'm not too worried about what I'm doing. I kind of want to just space them so they look about right, but we're going to let the computer fix this for us. Okay, so now hit the Shift key on your keyboard, highlight all 3 so you can tell we have them highlighted because they have the little squares around them. Then I'm going to go up here to the toolbar and I'm going to say Arrange, Align, Left. That's going to make sure they're all perfectly aligned. Then I'm going to say Arrange, Align, Space Evenly, Vertically. That's going to put them, space them vertically. Now I'm going to say Arrange again, Group. That gets them all grouped together. Now I can reduce them to the size that's going to fit my paper here exactly. And I kind of just want them to show in the corner here like that. Actually, I think on my original it was over a little bit more. Okay, and now I'm going to change the color of them all together to Very Vanilla. And because I don't want them to be quite that bold, I am going to turn the opacity down to 75%. That's about right. And finally, I'm going to go up here to this Layers tool, and I'm going to say Send to Back. Okay, so there we go. Got that one done. Now I think I want to bring my paper over just a little bit. I didn't quite, whoops. Oh, I forgot about that layer underneath. Okay, let's click on that one first. Okay, now I got myself in trouble. All right, so I'm going to go to my, I'm actually just going to walk you through this so that if you make a mistake like I just did, I don't know why this grouped stuff didn't go to the back. So I'm going to bring it to the back now. And then I'm going to click on this top layer and put it right back to where it was. And I'm going to show you another little trick. Let's bring the Very Vanilla to the top. We're going to click on it. Then I'm going to use my Layers tool to move it back behind. It's still clicked over here. I haven't touched anything. Now I'm going to hit Shift and I'm going to click on the top layer. So now I've got them both selected. And I'm going to say Arrange Group. You can see over here that that one Very Vanilla layer is now grouped with the first edition, so they're together. Now I can pull them over together, which is what I wanted to do. Okay, so let's move on. The next step now is to add some splatter. So we're going to go to the stamps, and you see this little tool here that says Add Splatter. I'm going to hit that. And I am going to select my ink splatters. I'm going to add this one 2 times and this one once. And then I'm going to close it. And let's spread these out so you can see what I just did. Oops, keep hitting the same one. Okay, I want to color all of these the same color, so I'm going to hit my Shift key and select all of them. And I'm going to change the color to Crumb Cake. And the opacity for those is going to go down to 60%. I just want to show them a little bit. And now click off and you can rearrange them. I've got, I think, one of these down here. And I actually cropped that so that it would fit in the corner. So I think I did something like that. You get the gist of what I'm talking about though, so that it would fit just right here. And you can rotate these so that they look really good and everything. And then the top one, it looks like I didn't get the opacity of that one down. Well, I guess I did. This must be my screen. Okay, so for this one, again, just kind of crop it so it'll go in the corner and not go over onto your background paper. All right, so the next step is to add some stitching. So we're going to go to our embellishments, and I have already selected Staples and Stitching. The Very Vanilla zigzag stitch is what I'm going to put on. And so let's see, we're going to crop this and so it doesn't go off our screen. I'm going to put it in the middle. Okay, hang on a second.